I really enjoyed my time aboard the Enchanted Princess, and I wanted to share with you the top 10 things you have to make sure you do while you're on board. Let's get started. Hi, AJ here with Byte Size Cruises, and today I wanted to talk about the top 10 things to do aboard the Enchanted Princess. So I was recently on the Enchanted Princess for a 7-day Canada and New England cruise. This was a port-heavy cruise, so there wasn't a ton of time during the day on the ship, but there are things I want to share with you that you should really make sure that you get to check out while you're on board. So, starting out with number 10, the Wakeview Pool. This area is great if you're looking for something a little quieter. It's a great place to eat breakfast or lunch outside, as it is accessible through the buffet. So this place for me was a great place to stop and read. It was never really crowded when I was up there, and it was a nice, calm place to get beautiful views of the ocean. Number 9, get your food delivered somewhere weird. Especially if you have Princess Plus or Princess Premier, something that you don't want to miss out on is sitting somewhere in the public spaces and having your food delivered via the app. It is really fun because as you're doing it, there's always that, are they actually going to be able to find me? And it's really cool to see it work really well using the medallion technology. I had a surprisingly good time ordering the food, and typically they were able to spot you from across the room. I do think there's some sort of picture that they get shown when they're picking up the orders. But sometimes you do have to flag them down. Just keep that in mind. Be on the lookout for them, just like they're on the lookout for you. But yeah, it's definitely a fun experience to be sitting somewhere on deck or in Princess Live and have the food delivered. Number 8, listen to live music. There is live music going on everywhere across the ship. Almost all of the public spaces have live music at one point or another. You have the Irish band in O'Malley's. You have the pianist up outside of Crown Grill. You have the production shows. There are different various bands in the piazza as well as on deck, so that you can hear different types of music playing depending on what you're in the mood for at different times of day. Number 7, the food demonstration. This was on the last day of the cruise for us. And what it is the hotel manager and the chef come together to do a cooking demonstration on stage in the theater. This is always a really fun time. The more lively these two individuals are, the better it is. When I was on Caribbean Princess, it was a lot more low key. This one was hilarious. The food demonstration between these two was like a comedy show in and of itself. They had a really good vibe together. They were playing off of each other really well. And while part of you know it's scripted, you know it's a good time when it doesn't feel like it is. It feels like it's just their natural personalities. So I really enjoyed the food demonstration. Coming in at number 6 is the game shows. There is a different game show happening pretty much every night of the cruise. They are a lot of fun. This is more than just one member of the cruise staff. It does usually happen later in the evening, either 7:30 or 9:30 typically. And I love that they have full sets for each of these. Everything from the countdown timers to stands if they need them. It's just really, each game show is really well thought out and really well done. And it does, it's not just one or two, like it's multiple nights. A lot of times on board cruises, you have like one game show that goes all out. But these, it really felt like they were going out for all of them. The audience participation is great. Even if you yourself aren't participating, it's so much fun to sit and watch. I highly suggest the yes or no game. That one is so funny. Everyone goes up with so much confidence that they'll be able to make it through the 3 minutes without saying yes or no. And we did witness one person do it. Everyone else failed so quickly. And it was so funny because you can watch them sometimes catch themselves, or you just see like the grin come across the presenters' faces. The other thing that really makes these game shows stand out is that the assistant cruise directors and the cruise director all have really great rapport. That entire team felt like they had been together for ages, when in reality, most of them had actually come aboard with us. But they all fit together and worked together really well and made you feel like you were getting a sneak peek in on a really great friendship, which just made everything more delightful and a little funnier. And you felt like it was just really good-hearted ribbing, and they just had really great chemistry. Coming in at number 5 is the production shows. So in my entertainment review, I noted how amazing these were. The technology that used in them was fantastic. The music being picked was wonderful. I'm so glad I didn't miss out on any of these. They really took the cruise to the next level for me. I've been really disappointed lately with a lot of cruise entertainment, and I wasn't on board the Enchanted Princess. And so I really want to highlight how worth it is to go to these production shows. And when you are on board, if you do like entertainment like this, please make sure that you are going to them so that the cruise lines find their worth in producing these big productions. They do cost a lot of money and time, and a lot of effort goes into them. And so it is something that I like to prioritize, making it to the production shows in order to show that support for the team that put it together, and also for cruise lines to continue including them on board as more and more you have, cruises coming out with just dance productions that feel more like a dance recital than a real show. So definitely make it to the production shows. For number 4, I'm going to do the cheesecake at O'Malley's. Unless you are allergic, I highly, highly recommend making that one of your must-do items. I said it in my casual food review. I would go back on board the ship in a heartbeat just to have that cheesecake. It is the best cheesecake I have ever had. I dream about that cheesecake to this day. I am not that big of a cheesecake fan. Like, I like it. It's great, but it's not like if someone's like, what's your favorite dessert? I wouldn't say cheesecake. I probably wouldn't even be in my top 5 favorite desserts, except for this cheesecake at O'Malley's. I came home and it was the first thing I told my husband about was the cheesecake at O'Malley's. So definitely make sure that you make it over there. It's so good. It's well worth it, even if you're paying a la carte just to get the cheesecake. I would happily do that. It was so good. I would eat dinner there just to get it. Amazing. Make sure it's on your list of things to do while you're on board the Enchanted Princess. Coming in at number 3 is the cocktail classes at the Fair Winds Bar. So these were so much fun. We attended them a couple different nights. I participated one night in making a cocktail, and the woman who was doing them for our sailing was so charismatic. She really pulled everyone in. She would reach out to people in the audience. That's how I ended up participating. She was like, you were here last night. Come up. You're going to do one tonight. Let's go. And it's not just one cocktail a night. She actually does a couple, and she gives you the background behind the ingredients and why the cocktail is put together the way it is. She explains to you how things work and the steps needed, and even why you're doing some of the steps. I never knew that if you add pineapple juice, you want to shake it because that creates foam. And that's not something most people would know unless they were really into mixology or working with pineapple juice on a regular basis. The cocktail classes are no cost to attend. If you participate, there is a cost for the cocktail. If you have the drink package, it's included, so it's no big deal. I ended up giving my cocktail to Peter and Melinda, but it was so much fun to get to make it. I love making teas and drinks. I will mix drinks for friends all the time, and so it was really cool to learn more things about how cocktails are made, why the flavors go together, why the flavors were chosen for the country that we were talking about, and you actually got a history of a little bit of the country in there as well. So if you want something hands-on, this is definitely an experience that you're not going to want to miss. Make sure at least one night, they were at 5 p.m., Fair Winds Bar. Go down there, do a cocktail class, watch it, learn a little bit about chemistry, a little bit about flavors, and just have a great time because it was hilarious, so lively, so much going on. Coming in at number 2, we are back at O'Malley's for number 2 because you must meet the Pirate Queen. The character of the Pirate Queen, I think, is such a great idea for really tying in the theme of the bar. And she made such a great foil to the band to keep things moving as stuff was getting set up and move around. She really drew people in. And even if it's not the same performer being the Pirate Queen, I just think it's so clever to have that character set up. Outside of Disney, you don't really see characters walking around the ships. You do see the mascots to get pictures taken with, but nobody who's in character, who's acting, who is engaging the audience to really pull them into what's going on. And I really loved that little touch for O'Malley's. The Pirate Queen was so much fun and such an interesting thing that, like I said, you don't see on a lot of ships. So even if you are just going down to listen to the music, just getting a glimpse of how she interacts with the crowd pulls people in and keeps things moving as well, worth it. Also, the music was fantastic. The Irish band that they had there was amazing, and her chemistry with them was amazing. So I guess kind of a .b point of things to do is to go see the Irish music. Listen to it. It's so cool because they also, tell you the background of some of the songs. Princess is really big on education and discovery, and that that is one of the big reasons why I really love this cruise line, is because of how much I get to learn when I'm on board the ships. And even having that little touch of learning the history behind the songs that they're doing every night was just really wonderful, tying it in with the Pirate Queen to make a really fun time where the music was great, the food was great, the drinks were great. So make sure you make it down there for that. And then last, certainly not least, coming in at number 1 is the 360 experience. If you watched my review of this event, you will know why it is a must-do. It is well worth the money. It is a 7-course meal, takes you on a tour through the Mediterranean. It's completely immersive and interactive. It is great food. There's so much thought put into it. The technology is amazing. The story, once again, with the learning, you get a whole recipe when you come out of it for lemon pasta. You get to smell what the different places smell like. You get to learn about how the wine is turned by the ocean in the crates underwater. All in all, that experience really was the highlight of my trip. I would do this trip again just to do that. It is the number one thing. If your budget allows for it, I would do that over an excursion. It was amazing. It is must see, must do. And once again, let's show cruise lines that we want things like that. Go out, support it, take the time, because there's so much thought and time that goes into the food, that goes into the sounds, that went into filming it. I had not been expecting Brooke Shields to show up on screen, but it was amazing. It was so well done, and you could tell how much everyone cared and how much care was put into the food. So that is the number one thing. If you don't do anything else on this list, I get it, but don't pass up on the 360 experience. So that wraps up my top 10 things to do aboard the Enchanted Princess. If you've been on board, I would love to hear your thoughts. Is there something you would rank higher than I did? Is there something that I was missing off of my list that you think is must do? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And I think it's important to get all those different perspectives and ideas. And as always, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. And I will see you next time. Have a great day.